I was playing on the National Mall. I was playing at the Hollywood Bowl for the NFL. I've met so many different people, and I've gained so much performing experience.
We take young people as young as 10 years old. And the core of our orchestra are young people who are middle school and high school age. The young people don't pay. We don't charge a tuition or a fee so that they can participate. I think just about every young person who's in our orchestra today has their own instrument. But if they don't have an instrument, we will provide an instrument for them at no cost. Those young people who participate in our program, they're involved in high-level activity. They're going to make it in other areas of life that are high-level. The disciplines of music are transferable into other areas of life. To learn how to play, you got to practice. To practice, that means doing something over and over and over again in the pursuit of excellence until you get it right. When you instill that kind of discipline in a young child, you are changing the world. I am of the view that we need to have an inner-city youth orchestra in every city of the United States where there is a substantial number of, where there's a critical mass of young people who are black. My mantra is we need to have one every place where there's an NFL team.
I'm brown, I'm Hispanic. I play French horn in this orchestra. I'm very lucky to be a member of this orchestra for many years, especially when it comes to classical music and orchestras. They do not have enough Hispanic people or African American people in those groups. And thanks to this orchestra, they give us the opportunity to prove that we do belong in those groups, that we belong to be on those stages, playing Mozart, Haydn, Mahler.
If American orchestras are going to survive, American orchestras need to look like America. We need to look like black people, we need to look like Latino people, we need to have members who are from the Native American community. Orchestras need to be just like America.
Music is joy. It's joyful. And I feel like whatever orchestra I'm standing in front of, whether it's my orchestra or another orchestra, I want all of us to be able to rekindle that joy that we all first felt, as young students starting out in the business. This is my first time with the National Symphony here at the Kennedy Center. They've been incredibly generous and really wonderful to work with. Often when you do programs like this that involve a lot of technical back and forth, there are actors on stage, there are visuals being projected, so there's a lot of moving parts in addition to just the music making. And so just their patience, their diligence, their really willingness to throw themselves into this work and into the spirit of it, I've been so grateful for. She can just come on. They're tuning. Tuning, tuning, tuning.
This is how it happened.
Because this piece that we are presenting is based upon the book of the same name, Because, which was written by Mo Willems, a very famous children's book author, and illustrated by Amber Wren. The book itself is about the way that beauty gets passed on from one generation to the next because people are inspired.
This is how it happened. Because a man named Ludwig made beautiful music, a man named Franz was inspired to create his own.
And then as we progress, we see that because Schubert wrote this symphony and so many people wanted to hear it, how orchestra performances get put together.
Because many others loved and practiced their instruments, there were enough musicians.
So there's all these elements about how a concert works, so that when children come to a concert, they're aware that there are ushers who are making sure that the seats are ready. There are people who are facilitating the lighting.
Because someone's uncle caught a cold, someone's aunt had an extra ticket for someone special. Because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they found their seats.
In this process, we see then a young girl who gets invited to this concert quite by accident, and she falls in love with the music that she sees on stage. And because she was at this concert, she then is inspired to become a composer and a conductor and share her gift of music with the world that will then inspire another child who's in the audience hearing her music. The music that has been composed for this, that represents the new music of the young girl, is written by a really wonderful composer, Jessie Montgomery, and she had wonderful assistance in the arrangement by Janina Norputh. So it's a really collaborative effort bringing this project to life. When I got the email from the Kennedy Center asking to participate in this project, and I was like in the quiet car on the train, and I was like, kind of like screaming, because I have a now 6-year-old daughter, and I had bought this book for her when she was 4, and I would read it to her. And so I knew this book when they said it, and I love it so much because this story was my story. I was inspired by a concert to become a composer and conductor, and so I really identified with this, and so I was so honored and excited to be a part of this project. I started out as a pianist at the age of 4. I studied piano at a very young age. I've always loved music, and I was really lucky to have some family friends of my parents take me to my first orchestra concert. I'll never forget. It was in Minnesota. That's where we were living at the time. I'll never forget. It was a beautiful Beethoven symphony. I don't remember which one it was, but I just fell in love with the music. I fell in love with the spectacle and the power of seeing all of those musicians playing different instruments in different ways, making music together. I did not see a piano on the stage. And so, like in my 7-year-old brain, I kind of figured, okay, if I want to make that music, I have to do what I see the man on the stage doing, waving this stick around. And so that's how I decided right then I wanted to be a conductor. I think that leadership is serving others, and so my job as the conductor is literally to allow the music to come through me and to share that with the musicians and to create a space that allows them for the music to also come through them.
And because I love conducting so much, I enjoy teaching other young people how to conduct. And so at this point, I would like to ask if there are any mildly enthusiastic young people out there in the audience, too, who might want to come up and get a conducting lesson with the National Symphony Orchestra. I'm not sure.
Not just music, but the arts in general are really critical. I think for a lot of years, people probably felt that teaching the arts in public schools may have been a luxury. It's not a core skill like reading and writing and arithmetic and science. But I think one of the things that we see very, very recently is how important creativity is to critical thinking skills, to social emotional development, and also to give children a sense of agency, that they have the ability to identify their emotions and thoughts and express them constructively in a way that allows them to make their way through society in a variety of institutions. This is how we begin to very gently and softly teach children how democracy works. Creativity is the ability to self-manage and create your own life, and that's what democracy is all about. And so for me, arts education is fundamental to being able to instill democratic ideals in the next generation.